Okay, quick update for Bitcoin before I go on. Did a great video on moving averages yesterday, sort of the 5 or 6 moving averages that I use. So make sure you have a look through this video. Very useful. Lots of positive feedback. I talk about the 200, the 50, the 8, the 20, and on which time frame they are meant to be used for day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing. And if you want to join the group, you can have a look and see what we do here. If you want to pay by crypto, I'm taking payments up until June the 30th, so this link doesn't work as of right now. Just give me an email and I can tell you the price for 2 months. And if you want any educational videos, everything's here. It's FF40 for 40% off. None of this top rated stuff, just everything that you see in my videos really. So covered everything. That's the call from December 2017. Lots of cheat sheets here. Economic theory and chart pattern analysis as well, so Fibonacci, Elliott wave. So basically everything that I have learned and that I follow, everything's here basically, so you can have a look through there. And a couple of other things, I'm doing a podcast as well, so you can have a look, and recommended reading books. Just take a look, and if you're going to buy anything from Amazon, just go through the links. Okay, so Bitcoin, we're currently at 5,300. If we have a look at the sentiment indexes, we're at 51, so there's a lot more room here to the upside. And this is another website which has been made sort of clear to me. I'm not sure how useful it is going to be in the long term, but I'm going to try to experiment with it. So as of right now, we're still in the mid-range, and definitely that would go alongside the actual sentiment in Bitcoin right now, which is definitely nowhere near euphoric. So that there is still some movement here to the upside. Now, as we know, it's the Japanese, I believe it's called Golden Week, so they're going to be off, the Far Eastern chaps are going to be off the radar for at least the next 5 days or so. So that's probably what's causing the long consolidation that we're seeing here. So that's going to finish on the 6th of May. And as we know, Bitcoin has got a lot of Far Eastern influence, so that's something just to note. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a pump sort of later towards the end of this week going into next week. We know it's the consensus meeting, I believe it's May the 15th or the 16th, which is really interesting because that kind of lines up with the top of this trend line and my target, which is between 6.2 and 6.6, and I'm calling it 6.4k, which I've been calling for quite a while. None of this volume here is bearish volume, and if anything, the bearish volume is actually going down. So this is still overall bullish, and the trend is looking very good. Now, I covered this 50-week moving average in my last video. So just take a look at that. Any consolidation below a key level basically means that it's going to break. So it's just a matter of time. And I'm running all of that as a cycle low. And now we are correcting the whole of this wave pretty much. So we're going to go to 6.4k. And at that time, the RSI and the weekly, obviously daily RSI, 3-day RSI is showing good momentum to the upside. But a weekly RSI of 70, that is significant, and we could probably hit that. So that's going to be at 57, another movement back up, and we should see 70. Now, looking at the Bitcoin dominance here, let's just take a quick look. It's still making a march towards 59, followed by 61, followed by 63. So nothing to be gained from looking at that anymore. Market cap, this was a hammer candle here, and now it's following through to the upside. So the market cap is going up, and the next logical target is going to be 110 billion. So we're getting still bullish signs here. Still going to movement, still going to get some move up to the upside. Definitely there's going to be some resistance kicking off at around 6.4k, 110 billion on the market cap, and also the weekly RSI will likely hit 70 alongside some more euphoric sort of sentiment signals in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Looking at the total market cap, let's just take a look here. Yeah, so we're still consolidating here. Nice little A, B, C, D, E triangle, and we're looking for one more move up. Any triangle pattern is usually the consolidation before the next move up. And let's just go into the short term here, so in the 1 hourly time frame. So we got this big movement back down with the futures contract. We had nothing to do with the tether news, whatever. We were running this initially as an expanded flat. Now it looks more like a WXY, so we could still get a movement down, but any movement down is probably going to get bought. But for right now, that is the low, so we could very well have bottomed out here. If this is some kind of counter wave correction, we're then going to get another movement back down again, but ultimately that just completes a larger correction. So bounce off the 50, target for that would be 4834 if it is going to roll over. But as of right now, it doesn't really matter. If you're holding for the intermediate term, we are going to move higher. So this consolidation is only on low volume, but if this does end up becoming more of a WXY, so WXY, then it could have one more push down. If not, then that was the low here, and we're now going to move higher. So it's interesting how it's consolidating alongside this Japanese Golden Week holiday. And yeah, we're still going to move higher here. Okay, so let's just have a look at a few altcoins here. Ethereum. So, you know, Ethereum it's got a nice little move here. We know there's a tweet by the Tesla CEO. It's broken this trend line. It's at this trend line right now. So far, this line here is actually holding up pretty well. So there is still some argument for some kind of sympathy move in Ethereum alongside Bitcoin going up. And there's nothing overly impulsive here to the downside with this correction. Okay, this is still correcting. So because it's correcting, it implies there is still possibly one more move up in Ethereum. The altcoins are not as clear as Bitcoin, but as you can see, all of that is corrective. So if all of this is corrective, it must be correcting the previous wave structure, which implies potentially one more move up. Now, the targets which I've had probably going to be 200 and 217. But like I said, it's not as clear as the Bitcoin chart, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin starts to get a move on. Ethereum could also follow here. Let's just have a look. And it's forming an inside week. So next week, we're looking for a break of 173 to then get some continuation to the upside. And it does seem to be resting on this large descending trend line, which is also very important. Okay, and on the monthly chart, it's looking good. So we're still making higher lows on the monthly chart, which obviously we are also doing on Bitcoin. So yeah, like I said, cycle lows are in 3.1k, and we're going to move higher. And even on the weekly chart here, higher low, higher low, higher low. So there is nothing bearish about this. We're just consolidating. This is the cause, ready for the next effect. But once we get up to 6.4, then obviously a lot of sellers are going to jump back into this market here. And let's just have a look at the shorts. Shorts are trying to be heroes, which is great, but they're probably going to get squeezed on their position. So once this reaches an extreme level, we usually get a large move in Bitcoin to the upside. So this is just something to watch. I don't like to plot too many fibs on here, but you can plot fibs in an Elliott wave on any chart. Let's just reduce that. So it's at the 50, probably another 3,000 or 4,000 there before they get squeezed out of their position. So everything's set up here for the shorts to get squeezed. Let's just see if we can glean some data from the longs, what the longs doing. Yeah, nothing. Okay, so they're not quite ready yet, but I've never found the longs data to be of any benefit really. It's mainly the shorts, because 70% of the time the market does go up, believe it or not. Okay, and looking at the futures, yeah, so there's nothing bearish. Once again, this is just confirming the volume that we're seeing across the board on Bitstamp. Obviously, the large institutions, they're not trading on Bitstamp, they're trading on the actual futures contract, but it still looks bullish. There's no volume here, and as we've established, areas of low volume will usually get either rejected from or it'll go straight through. So this is just the calm before the storm. This is the tight cause and consolidation over this, you know, Japanese golden week, whatever, before the next movement up towards 6.4k. So all eyes on 6.4k. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys found that useful, and check out my video here on moving averages. I think you might learn something. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next video.